Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I am James Locke today. I'm going to answer two more Ask James questions of the day. Our first question today comes from Carl. He says, for a lot of years, my wife and I really overspent during the holiday season. It took us months to pay off our credit card debt. So last year, we spent way less, but we felt a little too thrifty. So what's the right amount of spending? All right, Carl, so maybe you're a little embarrassed when you're sitting around and everyone's opening up all these wonderful gifts from everyone else. And, maybe the gifts that, you bought feel a little underwhelming. And that happens sometimes. People are at different stages of life financially, and those stages dramatically impact holiday spending. Sometimes people are at a stage where they can be more generous with expenses, but then their kids go to college and all of a sudden they've got to cut back. Or they get, close to retirement and realize, whoa, we're trying to max out our savings towards retirement. We're in the red zone approaching retirement, and we can't spend as much as we used to on gifts for some people. It's perfectly fine up until that point, but then they're in retirement and suddenly they're saying, okay, we're on a fixed budget now and we can't do what we used to. So how do you make the decision, Carl, as to what's right for you? Part of it is making the right financial decisions, right? And part of that is communicating that to your loved ones. When you're retired, the decision becomes a bit more straightforward. We always talk about this on my show. In retirement, you can really only take from interest and dividends. You can't try to engineer income from growth investments. If you're retired and have your Social Security, maybe a pension if you're fortunate, and you're getting interest and dividends, being able to spend money on holiday gifts means ensuring that you're not spending all that money on other expenses. If you find that all those interest and dividend payments are going out the door immediately, then you really can't afford extra for the holidays. The only real way to manage this in retirement is to let a portion of those interest and dividend payments kind of sit in a money market account and grow, creating a buffer for lump sum expenses like holiday spending. This approach allows you to maintain financial stability while still enjoying some gift giving. What if you're close to retirement? Well, it depends on how close you are and your overall financial preparedness. If you've done well and are on track, saving enough on a pro rata basis to retire when you want, then maybe you don't need to be as thrifty when buying holiday gifts. But if you're behind in your savings and need to catch up, then a more conservative approach might be necessary. So investment strategy becomes crucial here, right? As you approach retirement, you want to shift your portfolio to focus more on income-generating assets. This means looking at dividend-paying stocks, maybe bonds, treasury securities, other fixed income investments that can provide a steady stream of income. These investments not only help support your retirement expenses, but can also give a bit more flexibility for things like holiday spending. Now, diversification is key. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. A well-rounded, income-focused portfolio might include things like high dividend-paying stocks, municipal bonds, treasury inflation-protected securities, they're called TIPS, real estate investment trusts, REITs, business development companies, other fixed income and fixed income-like investments that generate interest and dividends. How you communicate your financial constraints to your loved ones, I think that's really half the battle here, making sure they understand why you're being more conservative with your spending. Transparency about your financial situation can help family members appreciate your approach and potentially even adjust their own gift-giving expectations. The goal isn't to eliminate joy from the holiday season, but to find a balanced approach that preserves your financial health while still maintaining the spirit of giving. Sometimes that might mean more personalized, thoughtful gifts that don't carry a high price tag, or agreeing on group gifts or spending limits with family members. There's a lot of different things you can do. Hey, thanks for the great question. And if you have a question, you can send it in. You can email it to poollocke@poollocke.com. All right, moving on. We have our second question. This is from Patricia. She says, my husband and I are retired, and we really want to do more things, but we just can't afford it. So how do we figure out a budget? Patricia, let's dive into how you can create a budget that allows you to enjoy more during retirement. We'll approach this from two critical perspectives: defense and offense. The defensive strategy is really straightforward. It doesn't require complicated calculations. Start by going through a review of your financial statements. Pull out your credit card statement, the checkbook, right? From the last year or the last 3 months. Categorize your expenses into 3 distinct buckets. Number 1, necessary expenses. These are your non-negotiable costs: housing, food, healthcare, basic utilities. 2, unnecessary but enjoyable expenses. These are discretionary spending that bring joy and value to your life. Perhaps a monthly dinner out, a hobby, or occasional entertainment. Unnecessary and non-enjoyable expenses. These are pure waste. Subscriptions you don't use, impulse purchases that don't bring satisfaction, or recurring charges that no longer serve a purpose. By meticulously sorting your expenses this way, you can immediately identify areas where you can trim spending without sacrificing quality of life. This is your defensive playbook, cutting out the financial dead weight. But just like any good sports team, retirement financial planning isn't just about defense. You need a strong offensive strategy too. The key offensive question there is going to be, are you maximizing your income potential? Let's talk about Social Security, which is a critical component of retirement income. If you haven't started taking Social Security yet, you're making a smart move by delaying. For each year you delay, your eventual benefit increases by 8%. That's a guaranteed return that's hard to beat in any investment market. This kind of delay strategy means you might have a bit more flexibility in your current spending. Now, consider this approach. You might be able to spend a bit more of your principal now, knowing that a significant Social Security boost is coming in the future. Think of these as your go-go years in retirement, the time when you're still healthy and active enough to enjoy experiences. Now let's discuss the offensive income strategy through investments. In today's interest rate environment, income generation looks very different from just a few years ago. 5 years ago, we were helping clients generate around 4% in interest and dividends after fees. Today, you can easily achieve 5 or even 6% in some cases. Let me break down what this means practically. If you have $1 million investment portfolio, that could translate into $50,000, $60,000 in annual income from interest and dividends. Are you anywhere near those numbers? Many retirees aren't, which means there's significant opportunity for improvement. Some strategies that kind of boost your investment income. I always talk about them, but you can explore high dividend stocks. You can consider municipal bonds for tax advantage income if it makes sense for you. Look into Treasury inflation protected securities. Tips. Investigate real estate investment trusts, REITs. Investigate business development companies, BDCs. Maybe some particular annuities if it makes sense. Anything that can generate interest and dividends, bond and bond-like investments. The key is diversification. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, but instead create a robust income-generating portfolio that can provide steady cash flow while managing risk. Investment reallocation is often the most overlooked strategy for increasing retirement income. Many people stick with the same old investment mix they've had for years, not realizing how much potential income they're leaving on the table. By battling your retirement finances from both ends, cutting unnecessary expenses on defense, maximizing income on offense, you'll likely find much more financial breathing room. The goal isn't to survive retirement, but to truly enjoy it. Remember, Patricia, retirement is not about depriving yourself. It's about making smart choices to allow you to live the lifestyle you've worked hard to achieve. A careful review of your expenses combined with a strategic approach to income generation can open up a world of possibilities. Take a deep breath, grab those financial statements, and start your offensive and defensive game plan. Your more enjoyable retirement is really waiting around the corner. Patricia, that's a great question. Thank you so much. If you would like to send in your question like Patricia did, you can do so by emailing them to poollocke@poollocke.com. If you like what you heard today, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source. See you next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me make it clear. Savings in the bank.